Hello friends, it's good to be with you again. Well, Christmas is upon us, and I find myself mulling over different thoughts, ideas as I prepare for my Christmas homily. And one thought that keeps coming back to me is it's the little things that count. It's the little things that make the difference. And I mean, think of it. It's this little child that makes all the difference. When he came upon the earth, when he was born of the Virgin Mary, and each and every day, the Christ child, the Prince of Peace, the Lord of Lords, in this small, little, fragile, vulnerable little child. Now, of course, when I make a homily or prepare a homily, I also have to take into consideration it's a homily for this Christmas, for this moment. And so, what is this moment, Christmas 2021? Well, certainly, let's admit it, we're all very tired of this pandemic. I mean, think of last year, of Christmas last year. We weren't able to gather at all. And so everything was only live streamed, video, and so on. And this year, we can gather. We can gather, but still in restricted numbers. And there's, the new variant, Omicron, and we're wondering where this is all going. So here we are again, sort of hunkering down, so to speak. But there is a difference, and one difference, and the difference is that while we can gather, there are now divisions amongst us. Last Christmas, it was all of us impacted by the virus. This year, in many ways, it's all of us impacted by the fact that throughout the year, many have been vaccinated. Many are even now getting their booster shots. And a large number, not insignificant number, have chosen not to be vaccinated. And so that's the Christmas of this year. Vaccinated and unvaccinated. And that's in our families. Who's going to gather at the Christmas table? That's a question, an emotionally laden question that almost all families are having to deal with. And, if they're there, we won't be there. And what can be sometimes difference of opinion or difference can become difference of conviction or difference of stand, and it can divide, and it can lead to, and we've seen it, it's there, intolerance and judgment. And so, this Christmas, well, I come back to it. It's the little things that make the difference. I mean, of all times, throughout all centuries, the message of Christmas, the good news, remains the same. It's the mystery of the Incarnation. It's the all-powerful God, the all-transcendent God who loves us, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, coming to us, and in Jesus becoming one of us, the Son of God, one of us, that we might know God and be filled with God. But it's in the reality of this little fragile, as I say, vulnerable child. And in the vulnerability and fragility of the cross, and in the resurrection, constantly alive in this world through us, but still fragile, vulnerable, still to be taken up with courage and hope, with peace of heart and joy again and again at every moment. And so yeah, it's the little things that count. So in a family, yeah, maybe we can't or we choose not to be around the same table, but perhaps we can share the same meal, each at our own table, but by Zoom or other manners, WhatsApp, whatever. Now you're going to say, well, it's not the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. But instead of being one camp over there and one camp over there, so to speak, eating bitter herbs, conversation, expressions of friendship, of interest, laughter, just joy, seeing the various households open their gifts together, the joy of kids. It's the little things that make a difference. In our parishes, yeah, it's again the little things that make a difference. It's the creative effort to render the possibility of celebrating Christmas to as many people as possible. So of course that means live stream, but it's also thinking, okay, well, how many cohorts of 25 can we arrange in our parish in the southeast part of Manitoba? To just, what are the little ways of reaching out to one another? We may not be able to physically gather some with others, but a phone call? Taking time to write a card, not just send off an email thing. The little ways in which we reach out to one another and affirm our love, our bond, our common journey in God as shown by the child. You're at a hockey game, okay? Parents together, talking and also looking at the kids. Okay, well, your son just, scored a goal, or, oh, there's my daughter falling on the ice again, or flip-flop, whatever. Well, in the little things, we can choose not to once again ramp up the conversations we're having by which we judge those people or those people, and see each other, as strangers, if not enemies. Come on, give it a break. That's not what Jesus came for. He came to lead us out of that sort of stuff. And so, in that moment, taking the pleasure and interest and joy of life and just seeing the kids have fun, and just conversation that builds each other up. Not naive, but by which we support and build one another up. And then to think of, there's a lot of people who will not be at the table, not because of COVID or vaccination, but because they're poor, or because they're excluded in some way, they're homeless, they're, all of that. The suffering that is there any Christmas, any year. And in little ways, but countless little ways, do we reach out and support. give of ourselves. The Christ child came that might well up in our hearts again and again and again, as he came to make all of human history new, but each human moment new. And so I wish you a very, very good Christmas, however you will live it. I hope it's filled with joy, with peace of heart, with hope, with gratitude to God and gratitude for one another, and just love. And again, as we see in the Christ child, in terms of love, it's the little things that make all the difference. Have a joyful and a blessed Christmas to all of you and all of yours. Thank you.